The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers or Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Julia Supa, and welcome to In the Know. It's so great to be back here in the host chair and with you for the remainder of this season. Well, it's time again for spring cleaning, despite the fact that it's not too springy outside. And in addition to fixing things up around your home, this is the perfect time to do a little cleaning on the inside. Joining me to talk about spring detoxing is holistic nutritionist and acupuncturist Rita Mustafa. Welcome back to In the Know.
Thanks. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. So we want to start with detoxing. It's a buzzword. It's a word people are using a lot. What does detoxing actually mean?
So detoxing, it's really a way to help the body eliminate and neutralize toxins. So it's really a basic definition of just eliminating toxins from the body.
Okay, and why do we need to detox?
You know, we're constantly being bombarded with things that are toxic to our bodies, whether it's things we're putting on our skin, like lotions and makeup and lipsticks and things like that, or whether it's the environment we're breathing in. You know, we breathe in paint, we breathe in carpet odors, or like fumes that come off the carpet. You know, we're eating genetically modified foods. So we're always going to be bombarded by toxins.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and I want to remind everyone at home that our phone lines are open. So if you have a question about detoxing, not just for spring, but in any time, and detoxing doesn't necessarily just mean about that throughout the course of the show. So our phone lines are open. We're here for the entire hour. So please do give us a call. We talked earlier how, you know, over the span of 10, 15, 20 years, we now have so many more toxins in our environment, and it could attribute to allergies, it could attribute to how we're feeling, if we're fatigued, and that's why we need to detox.
That's right. So those are symptoms. Our bodies will give us little signs that, you know, it could work a little better, right? So a lot of those symptoms you mentioned, like just feeling tired or sluggish, or just having even joint pains or increased allergies, like those are all signs that the body's just overworked and just it can't process as well as it's supposed to.
Right. So spring detox, are we supposed to detox multiple times throughout the year?
Usually spring and fall is the best time to detox. So spring is time of renewal, you know, growth. So it's a really good time. The body really responds really well. And same with the fall. So before we go into our, you know, slumber
or
and hibernation mode. Exactly. It's good to kind of cleanse before you get into that mode.
Okay, perfect. So how do we do that?
So there's a lot of ways we can detox. We can detox just by changing our diet. We can detox by actually taking herbs. You know, we can detox by doing things like fasting or juicing, things like that. So there's many ways to detox. It really just depends on the commitment of the person, how much they want to do.
Is there an ideal candidate for detoxing?
Definitely, I would say if you have a lot of health issues, then I would probably recommend that you do some sort of detoxing. It doesn't have to be anything drastic, you know, going from like eating everyday foods to eating, you know, just water, drinking just water. Right. It doesn't have to be that drastic, but just small changes here and there are going to just show overall improvement in the body.
What about age-wise? Should kids detox?
Kids can detox. I mean, they're getting toxins into their bodies too, right? Think about the foods that they're eating. A lot of people are busy, so it's a lot more packaged foods, and we're getting more additives and preservatives into ourselves. So, you know, you might not want to do like an herbal detox with a child, but you can definitely change up the diet a little bit. You know, make things buy cleaner foods, that type of thing.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting point, because I know some people, and we'll talk about juices and cleanses, but a detox isn't necessarily a cleanse. It could be.
It could be.
But it's not always. So you could establish a detox lifestyle, which is what you've brought in front of us here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through some of the products here. These are ways that we can detoxify.
Sure. You're just putting less toxicity into the body. So candy. So a lot of times, you know, kids eat candy, adults eat candy, but our candy, conventional everyday candy, is full of food coloring, which is really really bad, especially for children. It can actually cause like hyperactivity type reactions in children. So you can easily find things that are made from natural food coloring. So they're using beets and different things to color the food, so it still looks fun and appetizing, but it's not as harmful to the body.
Okay, and you have gum here.
Right, so gum is another product where it's really hard just at a regular store to buy gum that's not full of aspartame, sweeteners, right? And sweeteners, again, have been implicated in a lot of health issues. So that gum you're holding right there, that's made with xylitol, which is a more natural type of sugar.
And sugars are toxic. Is that what we're saying?
Refined sugars can act as toxins in the body because they're exactly that. They're refined. So you've taken away any beneficial stuff that was in there to begin with, and you've narrowed it down to 2 molecules, right? So refined sugar can be a problem for a lot of people. It can be addictive. It can, it basically can cause a lot of health issues. So it's better to go with something a little bit more natural.
Okay, this is all stuff that I find very interesting here, and it's health and beauty products are things that we use around the house every day. I do, at least. I paint my nails all the time. So nail polish remover. Right,
so again, these are just, little things that we might not think about, but if you do things often, so you think about the hand cream or hand lotions. How many times a day do you put lotion onto your skin? Whether it's your body or after a shower or your dry hands in the winter. So those hand creams, conventional everyday hand creams, are full of parabens and things that are not so great for our bodies. So, and then nail polish. This is actually a more natural nail polish. So it's right here. Yeah, it's a nice, vibrant color, right? Great for spring. And so you don't have to feel like you're missing out, I've got toothpaste there. So normal toothpaste generally contains fluoride, which can be toxic to the body, especially for children when they swallow it. You're not supposed to swallow toothpaste, but it happens, right? So going with something a little bit more natural, which kind of reduces that risk.
Okay. Cleaning products.
So
you have to clean your house. Especially in the springtime.
Spring cleaning, that's right. So yeah, just switching over to something a little bit more natural, you're helping the environment and you're helping everyone who lives in your home.
Okay, and moving on to that side of the table, we've got some snacks and some baby products, which I'm a fan of this brand right here.
Yeah, so a lot of things are made with plastics now, and unfortunately plastics have become a problem in terms of toxicity also. So if you have an infant who's chewing on a plastic toy, you actually want to make sure it's not something that's going to be toxic to them. Right. And in Canada, the rules are pretty strict. For children under the age of 3, they do have to have safer plastics.
Okay. No problem. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back more with Rita Mustafa when we come right back. We're going to be talking about enzymes. What are they and what we need to do to help them out. Great. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to In the Know. We're talking about spring detoxification and detoxifying our body. And joining us today is Rita Mustafa. She's a holistic nutritionist and acupuncturist. So we talked about why we need to detox, and now we're going to talk about enzymes because we hear that word a lot, enzymes.
Yes.
What is an enzyme?
So an enzyme is basically a catalyst. So for every chemical reaction to be happening in our body, it requires an enzyme. And enzymes, our body, we're born with, let's say, a certain amount of enzyme making potential, like a bank account, let's say, right? And so the idea is we want to eat a lot of raw foods so that we don't deplete our enzymes.
Why raw food?
So raw food, when you eat a raw food, it's full of enzymes.
Okay.
And so you're not taking away from that bank account.
Okay.
Right? So for anti-aging and things like that, what you want to do is do more, or at least incorporate more raw foods into your diet so that you're not, depleting your enzyme reserve, let's say.
Okay. digestive enzymes. What are these?
So digestive enzyme, basically what they do, they actually help us to break down our food. So you can buy enzymes in supplement form, obviously, and you would, especially when you eat cooked foods, anything cooked, then it would be best to take an enzyme so that, again, you don't overwork the body. The pancreas is what makes our digestive enzymes.
Okay, so basically our enzymes get depleted. Like you said, we start out with a full bank account and we're depleting them over time.
Yeah.
So it's obviously important to keep them full.
Yeah.
And we do that with raw foods and supplements. But if you're going to eat something cooked, can you then eat something raw? Does it kind of counteract?
Yeah, so the idea is that, try and do at least 50-50, right? So if you're having a meal, have a salad. So it's not that difficult to do, I don't think, right? So just being more conscious of where your raw food is and trying to incorporate more of it. And it doesn't have to mean, just eating, broccoli all the time.
Right.
Raw foods, all these foods represent raw foods.
So let's go through some of these foods. Because I think some people need some more ideas because some people aren't salad eaters.
Exactly, yeah, I appreciate that.
Sometimes it's easier to cook your food than eat it raw.
That's
Although
right.
I appreciate grabbing fruit on the go. I think that's easy. And when you have a baby at home, you need easy.
You need easy, that's
And when you have kids and when you're busy and working, everyone's busy, so we need easy. This is raw, huh?
So that's like a power. It's like a little chocolate bar, basically, and it's basically made with fruits and vegetables, and it has a nice dark chocolate coating over top, so it kind of masks all the veggie flavor. But that's something that you can easily throw into your purse, into your bag, and and that could be a snack. And the benefit is that it's raw.
Okay. And we're going to go here. So broccoli. Now, when you say broccoli, I'm picturing little trees. This is not broccoli, and we're going to get a shot of it over here.
So you've heard of broccoli sprouts.
Yes.
These are called microgreens. So the sprouts are a little younger, whereas the microgreens are a little bit older in terms of how long we let the plant grow.
Right.
Right? So if we continued to let this grow, this would eventually become a full broccoli plant.
They're trees.
That's right.
Okay, so just picking them up and eating them raw?
You can throw them in your salads. Absolutely. They're easy enough to do.
Okay, cool. Natural apricots. Okay, I know about these. So when you go to some stores, your apricots that you find are
bright orange.
Bright orange.
And that's a preservative that's making it stay bright orange. So when you just dry apricots naturally, this is what they look like. They're more of a brownish color.
Yes.
That's
what happens
dried
to fruit
apricots.
when you...
That's right. That's what a dehydrated. So even though it's dried, it's still considered raw.
Okay. So, and we talked about this earlier, dehydrated dried is different from baked because baking cooks the food.
Right. So if something is dehydrated, it's usually dehydrated, let's say, or if something is heated under 118 degrees, we consider that still to be raw, meaning the enzymes are still there, they're alive.
Okay.
So if anything gets cooked or baked above that temperature, then the enzymes start to die off, and then now you're just looking at a cooked food.
And that number was 118. 18. Okay. Sunflower seeds. Good, yummy.
Right?
Yeah, delicious.
Raw, you just throw them into your salads, have them as a snack. Fruits and fruits in general.
Veggies.
That's a no-brainer. That's easy enough to do. But again, you're getting raw food into your diet. You're getting those enzymes.
Okay. Okay, and these are supplements. Coconut nectar.
Right. So they're so some people who prefer to do a lot of raw food, or some people are even just raw foodists. They can still have things like sugar. In this case, this is a very low dehydrated type of sugar. So it just tastes like, I guess, like maple syrup would.
Beautiful. Okay, and then supplements. How do you know that you need one of these supplements?
Again, if you eat a lot of cooked foods, for sure I would recommend a supplement. If you have a lot of digestive issues like gas, bloating, even constipation, that could be a sign that you might need digestive enzymes. If you don't have a gallbladder, definitely, I would recommend a digestive enzyme.
Okay, okay. And over here, Kale chips, one of my favorite things. I love kale chips. I'm going to do this so you can see it. And so these are dehydrated kale chips like we just discussed. And what do we have here? Protein.
So now you can even do things like protein powders. So protein powder, this is a raw protein powder. This is a rice protein powder. And I even have raw cocoa powder.
And
right?
what would you use the raw cocoa powder? Just as a snack, or?
You can throw it into your smoothies to kind of give it that chocolate taste. You can make hot chocolate, assuming you're not, too hot
Not
of the
too
temperature.
hot. 118 degree hot
108
chocolate.
degrees, that's right. Warm.
Yes.
So not hot chocolate, but warm chocolate. But I use it a lot in my snacks.
Yes.
So, when you're doing like energy balls and energy bars and things like that, just throw in some cocoa powder.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about detox. We're going to talk about organs. We're going to talk about your liver, your kidneys, all important organs. Our phone lines are open. Give us a call. Welcome back to In the Know. We're talking about spring detoxing, and joining us today, our special guest is Rita Mustafa. She's a holistic nutritionist and acupuncturist. So we're moving on to organs and cleansing our organs and what organs are involved in detoxing.
So the first organ that comes to mind is the liver. The liver is our biggest filter. It's filtering everything, our blood. So the liver is really at the top of the list when it
Yes.
comes to detoxing. That's what we want to focus on.
And does the liver naturally detox?
Right, so it's our natural filter.
Right.
And just like a filter in a car, you have to clean it at some point. So, but our liver, that's its job. Part of its job is to sort of cleanse and detox and help us eliminate things that are not supposed to be in the body.
Okay. So we have liver cleansers. Now, okay, how often should we cleanse our liver? It's not just after a night of drinking.
No. So it really just depends on a person's symptoms. So spring and fall, usually I say it's a great time to just do a nice, gentle liver cleanse. But you can do them more often. If you have more serious type of health issues, then you might stay on it a little bit longer than just say like a month or like 2 weeks, that type of thing.
Okay. So what is involved in these liver cleanses?
So a lot of times with these cleanses, what we're trying to do is open the routes of elimination. So we want to make sure our liver is going to work properly, but we also want to make sure that we're eliminating. So it's not a good idea to just go out and do a cleanse if you're someone who's always constipated, because then there's no route for the toxins to get eliminated.
Right.
So you're actually going to make things a little bit worse. So if you decide to do a cleanse, something like a box cleanse, it's always good to sort of work with somebody like a practitioner that can help you through the cleanse, right?
And
to answer
prepare
any
for it,
questions
yeah.
and exactly. So if things come up, while you're doing a cleanse, if you feel worse, then that's something that needs to be addressed, right? So there's other issues that are going on if you do feel worse during a cleanse.
You bring up a good point, because you don't necessarily have to go to a health food store, because there are cleanses kind of everywhere. People are, talking about them online. You can buy them online. But it's important to know which cleanse is right for you.
Right. So, if you work with somebody, it's just safer, I think, especially if you're on medications, maybe you're pregnant, maybe you're breastfeeding. So it's really good to talk with someone. But health food stores, these are regular products that you'll find on any shelf pretty much. These, I got these at Whole Foods, and actually they are actually on sale this month because it is spring detoxing month, right?
Okay, so they involve kind of like a vitamin and...
So depending on which kit you buy,
Okay,
we
so
want
that
to make
one's
sure there's
fiber.
fiber. We want to make sure we're eliminating. There's probably something in there to help
Omega.
cleanse out the liver, and then there's something to also help with the kidneys, because that's another route of elimination that toxins are going to exit through is the kidneys or the bladder, right? Urine.
And why, so the elimination is important. Why is the cleansing of the intestinal tract so important?
if it's plugged up, nothing's going out. So what you're doing is you're just recycling toxins into your body, and then they will eventually get stored in your tissue. And that's what leads to things like joint pain, and that can lead to things like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue. So that can lead to other issues.
More significant chronic
Absolutely.
issues. Okay, let's move on to this side of the table.
Yeah, so in terms of cleansing, most people think of the liver as your cleanser, but the intestines is also really important, right? So I want to make sure people are eliminating properly, which means you need to go to the washroom daily. And just to keep things healthy, I like people to have probiotics in them or healthy bacteria in them. And of course, you can go out and buy a supplement form of a probiotic, which is great, but you can also get it naturally through food also.
Okay. And we were talking about the HMF Forte. I give my daughter BioGaia drops, but it's something that I should be taking too, right?
Absolutely.
And it's just funny because I give it to her, but I don't take it myself.
Yeah, so intestinal health is important at any age, right? You have to remember a majority of our immune system's in our gut. So if our intestinal system's not working that great, then the immune system's not working that great, and that's, again, going to lead to problems down the road.
And we don't want a leaky gut.
No, we don't.
Okay, this is a special tea that you're going to let me try. What is this tea here?
So this is, it's kombucha tea, and it's a raw, naturally fermented drink, very rich in healthy bacteria. And don't be scared.
Okay, I won't
It's
be
a
scared.
little fizzy. I'll let you try just a bit there, see what you think.
All right. Oh, it smells like wine.
It does. It actually tastes a little bit like cheap wine.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And what is so good about this tea?
It's raw and it has healthy bacteria.
Okay,
right?
so raw,
instead
which
of,
is good from what we learned before.
right, because of the enzymes, right? It's a raw food, let's say, and it has that healthy bacteria. So anybody can do this. So kids can do this, adults can do this. If you're on medications, you can do this, right? So there's nothing to worry about, and it doesn't taste that bad.
No,
you
it
can
doesn't
actually
taste
get
that bad.
flavored ones. You can get berry flavored ones, but this is just a plain one.
Okay. One of my favorite things. I'm one of the few
Sauerkraut.
people that I know that like sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut, yeah. So this is not the sauerkraut you get on the store shelf. This is the refrigerated version. This is a raw sauerkraut, and it's naturally fermented again, which means it's very rich in healthy bacteria.
Okay.
So that's another way to get good bacteria into your system without necessarily having to take a probiotic or a supplement.
Okay. And moving on there is...
And then yogurt.
Yogurt.
Right, so we all know yogurt is good for us, but being a holistic nutritionist, I deal with a lot of people with sensitivities to dairy, and so you can do things like coconut yogurt, and that has your probiotics in there too.
Okay. And our bottle at the end?
This is just, we're going to talk about plastics in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, so keeping our enzymes in check, we want probiotics, we want to cleanse our liver, we want to make sure our intestinal tract is
Working.
spick and span and working and regular. And that'll help us eliminate future
Absolutely.
complications, hopefully. Okay, sounds good. When we come back, we're going to be talking about popular detox programs, which I know so many people watching are interested because juicing is so popular now. We're going to talk about juicing and more cleansing and a lot more when we come back here on In the Know. Welcome back to In the Know. We're talking about spring detoxing, and Rita Mustafa is our special guest. So we were talking a little bit about organs. We're going to continue on with the liver because the liver is really important. And if we have a damaged liver, we could get into a lot of trouble.
Of course, that's our filter, right? So if we're not filtering toxins, then we're going to end up with issues down the road.
Okay, so the liver is our filter. What else does it do?
So liver does a number of things. It actually has about 500 probably more different functions in the body. So it's a pretty busy organ. It has a lot of things to do besides just detoxing, right? So it creates bile, which helps us break down fats. It helps us disinfect the colon. It conjugates hormones. So it does have a lot of roles in the body besides just detoxing.
Okay, more of a reason to keep it healthy. All right, so how do you know, and we joked about this about, after a drunken night, how do you know that you have a sluggish liver?
So I would go by symptoms, right? So if you're feeling kind of sluggish and low energy all the time, and maybe even like joint pains are worse, or if, PMS in women, like that's really bad, then those are signs. Your liver is congested, it's sluggish, it's not doing its job properly, and so those signs and symptoms are your body's way of telling you.
So it's can come out hormonally?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and is the liver only affected by what we eat or by our environment as well?
It's also affected by our environment. It filters all our blood. So everything that goes into our system eventually gets into our bloodstream, which has to go through the liver.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so we're talking a lot about food today, but it's important to, as we talked about in the first segment, when you're detoxing, it's not just about food. It's about your home, your environment, what you put on your body, in your mouth.
Body. That's right, yep.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have some foods that are going to help liver function. Let's start with good old trusty lemons.
Lemons, yes. So really a simple thing that you can do for yourself to help your liver is basically start your day off with a cup of warm water and squeeze half a lemon into it. And it's just cleanse itself. But first thing in the morning, empty stomach, and you can actually, for some people, they can actually feel like the gallbladder and the liver sort of doing a little contraction or cramping, and that's its way of cleansing.
Now, should it be warm or room temperature?
Warm tends to work a little better.
Okay.
Some people don't like it warm. They might just room temperature, but I find warm does work better.
And does lemon water throughout the day help?
Lemon water is very alkaline, so your body will be healthier. If it's alkaline, it's just healthier in general. So drinking lemon water throughout the day is still very beneficial.
Okay. Kale, it's one of the superfoods.
So leafy greens, the liver loves leafy greens. So kale is one example, but there's so many other leafy greens like collards and rapini and radicchio and all those leafy greens out there that I just love cooking for myself or even eating raw. Really, really great for the liver. Helps with detoxification and they're good for you.
Okay, beets.
Beets, that's another one. So a lot of those formulas that we saw earlier, the herbal formulas, will actually contain things like beets and dandelion because they're very good as supporting the liver, and they're also cleansing. And they're very alkaline, lots of antioxidants, so there's a lot of benefits to doing things like this. Now with these beets here, I like to buy it with the leaves, because with the leaves you can cut them up, put them into your salads, you can even dehydrate
So you eat the whole
these.
thing, the stems and the leaves and everything.
Yeah.
Now, can you eat raw beets?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, I've never had a raw beet.
Yeah, so if you just...
Who knew?
You can actually just grate it and just throw it on top of your salads.
Really?
It's great, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never had a raw beet.
I know, it seems kind of odd because most of the time we think of beets, we think like, roasted or in a jar
Steamed,
or in a can,
pickled.
that type of thing, but they're wonderful raw, yeah.
But so kind of like a carrot. You eat raw carrots.
You just shred it, throw it on a
Shred it.
salad, yeah.
Interesting. I will try raw beets. Okay, and some more stuff down here.
So milk thistle. So again, we saw cleanses earlier, and a lot of times the liver cleanses especially will have something called milk thistle in it. So some people might not be interested in necessarily doing, an herbal cleanse formula, that type of thing, but they can actually just purchase like a milk thistle tea, right? And you can have that several times a day, and that it will also help with cleansing the liver and supporting the liver.
Okay, so just another bonus.
Yeah.
How does that differ from the tea that we drank?
So this is obviously you're going to use warm water, so
Okay.
it's not necessarily a raw food, but it works on a different level. Whereas the tea that we were drinking is raw. It's rich in probiotics. This is a little bit different.
Okay.
In that sense.
Okay. And this over here.
Castor oil. So
Castor oil.
So now I use castor oil with my clients, not not to drink, because most people know castor oil to help with elimination, to help them go to the washroom. But I use castor oil more as a way to help to gently detox the body, especially the liver. And it's done as, we call it a castor oil pack. So we saturate a piece of flannel with castor oil and we put it over the organs we want to work on. So we can work over the liver.
So like a soak.
Exactly. So you're just putting it on, you're letting the body absorb the oil, and it will gently detox. Really great for constipation. So, you know, if someone's constipated and, you know, they want to try something that's fairly easy and simple to do, castor oil,
and
any health food store.
Topically, it's safe and it works, like it will help constipation topically?
I use it a lot for people, for my clients who are constipated. Castor oil does amazing things for them. Yeah.
Okay. And
turmeric. So just a simple spice you can have in your home, put on top of your food, and again, a little bit of turmeric can help with cleansing.
And add a lot of great taste too.
And add great taste, that's right.
And glass bottles, which we've heard so many times.
That's right. And drinking your water, right? If you want to support your liver and help your liver cleanse, well, you have to make sure that you're putting in enough water so that the body can actually do that process.
It's so true, and you always fail to drink enough water.
And exactly. Most people say, oh yeah, I'm drinking enough water. And then when they start to actually write down how much they've actually had, it's usually not enough.
Far from it.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
We have to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with Rita Mustafa in just a bit. We're talking about cleansing and juicing and raw foods and dieting. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to In the Know. We're talking about spring detox today. So we've talked a lot about food and liver and organs and what we need to do, but now how do we do it? Because people are watching and they're saying, okay, this is all fun and dandy, but I want to cleanse my liver, I want to detox. How can I do it? Let's make it easy.
Right, and there's many things that you can do when it comes to detoxing, right? So you can go to kits, which we've seen earlier. So there's many different kits that are out there. Sorry, this is French. Oh no, it's the same. So there's many different kits you can do, but then again, you can also just do cleansing through diets, right? So some people, again, so when I'm working with people, I'm asking a lot of questions. I need to know their background. I need to know what symptoms they have. So some people will choose to do things like a candida type diet. Now that's a very, very strict diet. It's not for the, faint-hearted here. It's really, it's a really strict diet.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever been on a candida diet, candida is yeast.
Yes.
Right. So some people have an overgrowth of yeast in their system. They crave a lot of sugar. They probably get chronic yeast infections. They're probably very tired. Foggy thinking. So, if those are the symptoms, then I would choose something like that for someone. Some people just want to change up their diet, right? So with clients, I actually do what's called an alkaline diet. And so what we do is we basically change up the diet to include a lot more foods that are raw, have a lot of enzymes in them.
A lot of those leafy greens.
That's right, a lot of the leafy greens. So it's, it's a little bit easier in terms that it's just food and what I like about it is that I'm teaching people to think about what they're eating and making sure that people are more conscious of eating more raw foods, more foods with enzymes, foods that are healthier for your liver, those types of things.
But I think above all else, everyone needs to know at home that it does take some work. I mean, just because your meal planning might be different, your snacking is going to be different and should be different, but you're better off for it.
Absolutely. Most people will feel better in a short period of time. Most people will notice a difference. Their energy's better, their sleep is better, their joint pain goes away. Like they will definitely notice a difference.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the diets. We talked about the cleanse, and we'll go through some of the items that you've brought here and what people can do. So let's start on this end. Organic coconut sugar. Now, coconut is everywhere. Coconut oil, coconut milk, coconut water, which I drink all the time.
Yeah.
Coconut sugar.
Yeah, so whenever you're doing a cleanse, regardless of whether it's a boxed kit or whether you're doing, changing up the diet, there's certain things that you want to take out of the diet. There's no point in doing a cleanse and going out and having, hamburger and French fries every day, because you're really not really cleansing, right? So you want to take things like refined sugar out of the diet, the white stuff. And so the coconut sugar is a healthier version of sugar. Right? So it's not refined, it has a lot more minerals, and it's better for you.
Okay. And down here I just dropped something. Oh.
So the one thing people probably comment the most when it comes to time to detoxing is the fact that I want people to avoid coffee. And for a lot of people, coffee is their morning kind of get up and go.
Yes.
That's what gets them going. So there are herbal alternatives out there. So in the health food store, this particular product is called Ticino, and you would make it just like you would regular coffee. So if you use a drip, like a coffee machine, you put it in there. If you use an espresso maker, you would put it in there. If it's a French press, you do it that way. And it's really healthy. There's no caffeine in there. There's actually no coffee bean in there. Yeah, and it's really made with like cocoa beans and some have almonds in them. So if you have allergies, read labels. But there's chicory in there, which is good for the liver. So there's a lot of great stuff in there, and it tastes very similar to coffee.
All right. Okay. Milk alternatives. So we've got coconut milk and almond milk.
Yeah. So again, you're cleansing. You want to take dairy out. Dairy is very congesting to the body. It's very inflammatory to the body. So doesn't mean you can't have milk with your cereal. It just has to be something different. So you can use coconut milk. You can use almond milk. You can use rice milk. There's so many different varieties of milk out there now that you can use.
Right. Nude Food, a great local retailer.
That's right. So that was formulated by a nutritionist also, and so we were talking about enzymes earlier, and we were talking about raw food and the benefits of the raw food. So this is another snack that you can eat that's raw, has all its enzymes, and it tastes great. Made with bananas and goji berries.
Stevia. It's another one of those more decent sugars.
So this is actually an herb, which some people will use as a sugar substitute. So this doesn't affect blood sugars at all. People who are diabetic might be interested in using stevia because, again, it's an herb. It doesn't affect blood sugars. But then again, coconut sugar also is very low on the glycemic index, meaning it doesn't affect blood sugars as much as, let's say, white sugar would do.
Right, okay. Some fruit. We've got avocado and some beautiful carrots.
And carrots, right? So what we've been saying all along, if you're going to be cleansing, you need to incorporate more fruits and veggies into your diet.
And keep it raw if we can.
Yeah, so a great way to get fruits and veggies in is by juicing, right? So if you have a juicer, you just throw your favorite, whatever it is, carrots, celery, apples, kale that we saw earlier. You just kind of juice everything, and that's a great way to get your enzymes in, your fruits in, your vegetables in.
All right, and this is really cool because I've done a cleanse before, and I'll turn this over here. This is pH.
That's pH paper, that's right. So that is something that you can buy at any health food store. So I was talking earlier about an alkaline diet. So when I have someone on an alkaline diet, what I have them do is actually test their urine to see where their pH levels are. Now, a healthy pH level would be around 7.
Okay.
And the more acidic the body is, so the lower the number.
The more yellow the strip.
The more yellow, that's right. The more acidic the body is, which means the more disease will be able to live in that environment.
Interesting, and and we want to get it up. Okay, we have to take a short break. We're going to talk more about cleansing, and we have one more segment, so don't go anywhere. If you have a question, a last-minute question for Rita, give us a call. We're going to talk about how we put all of this learning and detoxing into our daily lives. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to In the Know. We're talking spring detox. We have a call. We have Kelly on the line from Richmond Hill. Hi, Kelly.
So I was wondering A few of my friends keep telling me that green tea is beneficial in the morning. Is that really true?
Green tea has a lot of antioxidants, so yes, you can drink that in the morning. It's better than coffee, I would say. Some say there's a detoxing effect. I think it's higher in antioxidants, which in general will help the body. Yeah.
It's a lesser of two evils.
I guess, yes, of course, yeah.
And we talked earlier, we've been talking throughout the show about, I'm not expecting everyone to go out and buy everything that we've talked about and do everything, because it's really hard. And we're busy and we don't have a lot of time, but we want to integrate some of this into our daily lives, and it is easy, it can be easy. The raw foods, fruits and vegetables, and let's go through some of the products here and just ways that we can detoxify, not only on a daily basis, but seasonally as well.
Yeah, so the easiest thing is to do a little bit every day, right? So that you don't get to a point where it's like, spring cleaning where you've never touched anything in your home before, right? So you want to do little things every day. So the lemon water in the morning or even throughout the day, easy, right? Most people can put that into their water. Most people say their water is boring, so that's a great way to kind of give it a little bit of flavor.
And water, so we talked about water. This is really cool, this water bottle.
It is. So, and we were talking earlier about plastics and how plastics can, leach bad things into our system. So going with a glass bottle,
and it's got this kind of silicone.
That's right, and it has a nice
coating,
soft exterior. So if you do drop
it, like I will.
Yes, I've dropped mine, and it's fine.
And it doesn't break.
It doesn't break.
Very cool. And you had a pink one in the last.
That's
segment.
right. So I love those little bottles. I think they're great.
Okay. Teas. We've had our raw tea.
Yeah.
Our milk thistle tea.
Milk thistle, right? And those are two more teas that are specific to detoxing. So again, they're just herbs that will help that detoxing process. And that's easy enough to do throughout the day. Replace one of your coffees with a tea.
Okay. This is something that I cannot wrap my mind around, but go ahead and talk about it. It's not one of my things, but I've tried it.
You know what? At least you've tried it. There's other ways to get chlorophyll into your body. So wheatgrass is a great way to get those antioxidants in, the chlorophyll, which is cleansing of the blood. Some people find it a little harsh. It is grass. It's going to look like grass, taste like grass. It's, but you can try hiding it into things like apple juice.
And smoothies.
In smoothies and things like that. Or you can even go to like a powdered product or even a capsule version.
Okay. What is this?
So that's omega-3. So that's a combination of flax seeds.
A plant-based omega-3.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's a combination of flax seeds, chia seeds, and broccoli sprouts, actually. And so that gives you a little bit of fiber, which, again, it's going to help with elimination, which will help in turn with detoxing. And it has healthy omega-3s, which are good for our immune system. It protects our cells.
And what are the benefits of having a plant-based omega-3 versus, let's say, a fish oil?
So for some people, the fish oil is harder to digest. It's an oil.
Okay.
Let's say someone doesn't have a gallbladder. That might make it a little bit harder to digest. If someone has poor digestive system, that might be an issue. Or maybe someone's vegan, doesn't want to do animal product. Then this would be a great alternative.
Okay. Cool. The powders, the special powders. I've seen that Greens Plus everywhere, and I never know what it is.
So this is a combination of many different grasses.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of green stuff. So you'll find some kale in there. You'll find some wheatgrass in there. You'll probably find barley grass in there. So it's a combination of many different herbs, or not even herbs, but grasses.
Green stuff,
basically, that is going to support detoxing, but you're doing it on a daily basis, right? And you can find these flavored. So, if you're not a fan of the green, then you can get berries like goji berry flavored and things like that, or even put maybe some cocoa powder in there that we saw earlier.
And
right?
What do you do with it? Smoothies?
So you can make a smoothie. Some people just drink it with water or apple juice, and that's how they get it in.
Does it taste okay?
It's grass. It's grass. I'm not going to lie.
Honest.
I'm not going to lie to you. It is grasses. So some people need to mask it with, like, apple juice is a good one. Some people put it in smoothies and put lots of fruit like bananas and things like that, and that will mask it. So
However you need to do
however
it,
you can get it in, and it's great for you, great for your liver. Absolutely.
But I'm assuming it's highly concentrated.
All you need
it's
is
in a powder.
all you need is a scoop. That's all you need.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And these ones here, the superfoods.
So this same idea. These ones are, I think one is goji berry flavored. So again, the different companies will make different versions of their greens and some will put probiotics in them, some will put like flax seeds in there. So it really just depends on what you're looking for, what preferences you have taste-wise.
Okay, so of everything we've talked about today, in terms of what we're putting into our body and around us, some quick tips that people need to do. Cleaning our houses, maybe?
Just baby steps. You know, instead of buying a chemical product next time when you go grocery shopping, look for something a little bit more natural. When you're buying, like fruits and vegetables, look for some organic, you know, when you can. A lot of times, especially in the summer, you can find organic fruits the same price as regular fruits.
Right.
So, you know, look for things like that. Just baby steps. If you're new to this and you don't really know where to start, just make little steps. Try organic, do your lemon water, get some greens into you, add more fiber to your diet, drink your water.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more than, and of course we talked about the cleanses and the box cleanses. See a professional if you want to do a cleanse. Make sure you're getting the right one.
It's best to work with somebody because you never know how your body's going to react, and you want somebody there to kind of support you through it.
Okay, I want to talk about this because this is your book.
That's my cookbook. That's right.
And it's called Wheat Free, Dairy Free.
Right. So, being as a nutritionist for over 10 years, I've worked with a lot of clients, and I do things like blood testing to find out what people's sensitivities are, especially when there's inflammation involved or digestive type issues. And wheat and dairy seem to be the two most common issues for people. And so, it is difficult for people just to change their diet and just go wheat free and dairy free all of a sudden. So this book is really just a collection of simple recipes that everyone in your house will enjoy. There's breakfast things, there's entrees, there's desserts, and like I said, very easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if people need to reach you, they watch the show and they feel like they have some more questions, of course, they can visit our website at www.rogerstv.com to get Rita's contact information, but how can they reach you?
So oasishealth.ca, jump on the website, you'll see where I do different lectures. I do cooking classes at Longo's at different locations.
Cool.
So if you're interested in a cooking class, look at the website, and free newsletters and recipes online, lots of things to look at.
Lots of information, and I feel like every single time we talk about this topic, I learn something new. I don't think it's something that is oversaturated. We learn about it all the time, and you can always do a little bit better. And it's a learning process. It's a learning process for everyone. And thank you so much to you for being my guest today. And thanks to our callers, and thanks to everyone for watching. Don't forget to tune in next week here on In the Know. We're talking about spring gardening. So we talked about detoxifying inside. Now we're going to fix up our homes on the outside. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Julia Supa. We'll see you right here next week.
Rogers TV viewer response line at 905-780-7114 or email us your comments.